Good morning, Mayim and Geshem. This morning we're going to sing our Nishtana, and we'll go through and add in 1 page in our Geshem Haggadah and 3 pages in our Mayim Haggadah. But I'm going to also read to you the Pesach story, the Matzah man. Boaz, can you take out most of this water for me, please? I just need 2 drops. Thank you so much. Boaz is helping me out a little bit. Okay, I've got my music ready to sing Nishtana. It's working today, hooray! So if you have your necklace on, you can do the flipping over your shoulder. If you don't have your necklace, because you're in Geshem or you just don't have it ready, that's okay too. You can sing along. Okay, ready? Can you hear it going down?
מה נשתנה הלילה הזה מכל הלילות, מכל הלילות, שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים חמץ ומצה, חמץ ומצה. הלילה זה כולו מצה, הלילה זה כולו מצה. שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים שאר ירקות, שאר ירקות. הלילה זה מרור, מרור. הלילה זה מרור, מרור. שבכל הלילות אין אנו מטבילים אפילו פעם אחת, אפילו פעם אחת. הלילה זה שטעמים, הלילה זה שטעמים. שבכל הלילות אנו אוכלים בין יושבים ובין מסובים, בין יושבים ובין מסובים. הלילה זה כולנו מסובים, הלילה זה כולנו מסובים.
Yay, good job everybody. All right, now we're going to read the Matzah man. This is a Passover story. It's really funny. The Matzah Man, a Passover story by Naomi Howland. Looks like she drew the pictures too. Inside Mr. Cohen's bakery, the racks were filled with Passover matzah. The baker rolled out his last scraps of dough. He added a bit here and a pinch there and shaped a little man. He pricked the dough all over, popped it into the oven, and closed the door. Mr. Cohen was busy cleaning up when suddenly he smelled the matzah, almost burning. He hurried to the oven and opened the door. But the minute he did that, that piece of matzah jumped out and said, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the matzah man." And off that rascal ran, around the sacks of flour, between the legs of the baker, and right out the door. "Stop, matzah man," cried Mr. Cohen, and he began to chase the little matzah man. Through the village they raced. A red hen spied the little matzah man, crisp and crackly, running by. The matzah man said, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the matzah man." "Stop, matzah man," clucked the red hen. "You would make a tasty treat for my new chicks." The little matzah man looked at the red hen, stuck his nose in the air, and said, "I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and canoodle canoodle canoe, I'll run away from you too." And he went pell-mell over the fence. Cousin Tilly was sampling her tender Passover brisket when the toasty little matzah man rushed past her door. The matzah man teased her, saying, "Hot from the oven I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the matzah man." "Oh, stop, matzah man," called Cousin Tilly. "You'd be the perfect mouthful with my delicious brisket." The little matzah man waggled his finger at Cousin Tilly and said, "I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and from the red hen who left eggs in her nest, and canoodle canoodle canoe, I'll run away from you too." And that little scamp raced off down the road. Aunt Bertha was out shopping in her brand new shoes. She saw the crunchy matzah running right toward her. The matzah man said, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the matzah man." "Ooh, please stop, matzah man," cooed Auntie Bertha. "You would look just adorable on the Passover table." The little matzah man made a rude face at Auntie Bertha and boasted, "I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and from the red hen who left eggs in her nest. From old Cousin Tilly with brisket-filled pan, and canoodle canoodle canoe, I'll run away from you too." And he scooted around the corner. Grandpa Solly was chopping onions for his special Passover gefilte fish. The onions were making him cry, but he could still see the matzah man through his tears. The matzah man said, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the matzah man." "Oh, stop, matzah man," cried Grandpapa Solly. "Oh, you'd be a delectable nosh with this gefilte fish." The little matzah man put his hands on his hips and bragged, "I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and from the red hen who left eggs in her nest. From old Cousin Tilly with brisket-filled pan, and big Auntie Bertha in high heels she ran, and canoodle canoodle canoe, I'll run away from you too." And he sped across the bridge. Miss Axelrod was dropping the last matzah ball into her chicken soup when the brown little matzah man ran past. He shouted, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the matzah man." The little matzah man had such chutzpah. He said, "I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and from the red hen who left eggs in her nest. And from old Cousin Tilly with brisket-filled pan, and big Auntie Bertha in high heels she ran. Then Grandpapa Solly, from onions he's crying, and canoodle canoodle canoe, I'll run away from you too." And zippity-zip, away he went. A gray goat was pulling tender young radishes out of the garden when he noticed the tasty little matzah man. The matzah man stamped his foot and said proudly, "Hot from the oven, I jumped and ran, so clever and quick, I'm the matzah man." "Stop, matzah man," bleated the goat. "I would like to have a bite from you." The little matzah man laughed and said, "I've run from the baker whose matzah is best, and from the red hen who left eggs in her nest. From old Cousin Tilly with brisket-filled pan, and big Auntie Bertha in high heels she ran, and then Grandpapa Solly from onions he's crying, and then from Miss Axelrod matzo balls flying, and canoodle canoodle canoe, I'll run away from you too." And he hurried past the goat. Just at that moment, young Mendel Fox came to the door of his house. what? A commotion. You see him back there in his house? Mendel saw the little matzah man running down the road, chased by the gray goat, Miss Axelrod, Grandpa Pasali, Auntie Bertha, Cousin Tilly, the red hen, and Mr. Cohen the baker. The matzah man looked back over his shoulder and panted, "Out from the oven I jumped and ran. Oh, so clever and quick, I'm the matzah man." "Stop, matzah man," Mendel said. "I'll help you. Hide behind me." The matzah man flattened himself behind Mendel. "Oh, they're getting closer," Mendel shouted. "Hurry, get behind the cushion." The matzah man covered himself with the pillow. "Oh, I can still see you," cried Mendel. "They're coming up the steps. Quick, hide here." The matzah man jumped up on the table and slipped beneath the matzah cover. Mr. Cohen looked around. "Did you see a little piece of matzah run this way?" he asked. Mendel shrugged. Miss Axelrod peeked under the table. The red hen picked up the cushion on Grandpa Pasali's chair. No one could find the matzah man. So one by one, the tired guests plopped down in their seats. "Let's begin the Seder," said Mendel. He handed his grandfather the plate of matzah. Grandpa Pasali reached under the matzah cover and snap! The matzah was broken. The plate was passed around the table. "Tasty matzah," said the gray goat between bites. And now the horseradish was making Grandpa Pasali cry. He nibbled a piece of matzah. "Oh, so crunchy and delicious," he said through his tears. "The best matzah we ever ate," agreed Cousin Tilly, Auntie Bertha, and Miss Axelrod. The red hen pecked at her matzah. "Quick, quick, quick, crispy." Mr. Cohen smiled. Everybody ate a piece of matzah except Mendel Fox. He had 2 pieces. And that was the end of the matzah man. And the end of our story. All right. Now, if you are in Geshem, this is what you get to do today. You're going to take your Haggadah, and we're just going to do 1 page today because we need to let it dry. In your packet, you have a little cup like this, and inside you also had a little cake of paint. Oh, I'm going to get my fingers messy. Like this. And what you want to do is put a teeny tiny bit of water. This is even maybe a lot. You see how I can get the paint all over my fingers? So just like at the Seder, we dip our fingers in the wine or the grape juice, and we're going to put it on our plates. So for this part of our Haggadah, I'm going to show you my clean spot with my Haggadah on here. I hope you could see it. We're going to take our paint instead of wine. They gave me purple, which is nice, but you get whatever color you get is what you get. If you have paint at home, you could choose a different color, but if you don't, then you can use this. You're going to dip your finger in and put drops in each cup. And then if you want to, you can put drops all over your paper. Make fingerprints. That would be fun. And when you're all done, you're going to set it aside to dry. I might do a couple more over here. Fill up my cups a lot. I have a lot of grape juice in here. And then I need to let this dry. So I have a paper towel I'm wiping my fingers on. And I'm just going to keep this book open to this page and put it away. And by tomorrow, it will be all dry. And we can do the next page. Now, if you are in Mayim, this is your Haggadah. We're going to open it up. I'm going to turn 1 page. This is your Kadesh. Kadesh, Urchatz, Karpas. And now we're on Yachatz. During the Seder, during Yachatz, we're going to break. There's going to be 3 matzahs on our table. Oh, look at my fingers. We're going to break the middle matzah. So on this page, Morah Gianna, Morah Katria cut 2 rectangles so that it could be the pieces of the matzah. Now remember yesterday I made some that could flip up. I might do that again for this. You don't have to. You could just glue all over. So maybe for this one, I'll glue all over and put my piece on. And then for this one, I might just put a little bit at the top. If I want to, I can see what's under it. Okay, turn 1 more page. And this is Magid. During this part of the Seder, you get to read the story of what happened to us in Mitzrayim. And for here, we have another kid with a lot of hair. So you have some puffballs, or some cotton balls in yours, and you get to just put some funny colored hair on this person, this little kid. So you glue it all over. And I think for this one, I'm going to go ahead and use some cotton ball because I have another kid with white hair. Maybe it's the same kid, maybe two. No, I think it's a bow. Two bows. This could be for decoration. Okay, turning the page. Remember I told you that we were going to wash our hands 2 times? The first time we washed our hands in the Seder, we don't say a bracha because we're not going to eat the matzah. But this time, after today, we're going to eat the matzah. So now this time we say the bracha when we wash our hands. But again, you have a washing cup that Morah, Gianna, and Markatria cut out. And you should have some water. Oh, I have 3 here. I can add one to my other one. So we're just going to glue it on. You could do the sound effects too if you want. You can say do 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 do, and then you could add some splashy sounds. Splash, splash. And that's it. And when you're done with that, you'll have 3 more pages of your Haggadah. Okay,